Arsene, heading to Stamford Bridge, you said you really backed your team to make up for the mistakes they made at Anfield. You must have been really delighted with the response that you saw.
Yes, of course, it was down first to attitude and performance. And I think combined both, the only thing we didn't get is the result that we wanted is to win the game. But overall, I'm convinced that it is a good positive point and a springboard to develop from there, to move on. And we needed to convince ourselves and people around us that we can cope with this kind of pressure.
So that sort of result, the way that the defence sort of stood up to the test, that must be a real psychological boost for everyone.
It was, and we did it in a convincing way, in a determined attitude, and we're much stronger in the challenges, and that's why it was very positive.
Alex Iwobi made his first Premier League start of the season. He finished the game in a game that you really had to look after the ball well. He finished it with a 91.4% pass completion rate. You mentioned before that he's had little dips in confidence. A performance like that must do a lot for him, though.
He's coming back in good form, and I took him off because he has given a lot already against Cologne, and he looked a bit tired in the end. And but overall, I agree with you that he was available, accurate in his passing, and he in the last two games he is as well in dangerous situations, involved in the final third, and I'm convinced that Alex will score goals and will give assists, and he works hard as well for the team.
He always strikes me as someone who's eager to learn. He's never sort of ready to just rest on his laurels. I mean, how does he go to that next level? You mentioned goals and assists. Is that just something that...
The next level is confidence, calm in front of goal, and keep his assets, that is quick available, quick vision, quick potential to move the game forward, and work on his final pass, work on his finishing, and get into areas where you can score. That's what he needs to do, get into positions where he can finish, because he's a good finisher.
You're back in League Cup action on Wednesday. When you think back to some of the players that have come through during your era and made their debuts in the competition, the likes of Cesc Fabregas, Jack Wilshere, Ashley Cole going back there, and Kieran Gibbs, it just shows how valuable a competition it is.
We used always with competition to give chances to young players, and overall I believe that I want to continue to do that, but as well I have a squad that is involved on many fronts, so I want as well to give competition to players who need, because we want to perform at all levels, and that's why it's important that everybody keeps fit and competitive, and so I try to combine both sides of it in this competition.
How does this group of young players compare to some of the ones you've had in years gone by?
I must say they are comparable to the best I've had before. There are some young players there who are really promising. And now we are at a stage where first step is to know if they have the quality. Second step is to continue to develop them by good coaching. And third step is to integrate them in the first team, and that is the most difficult. The last part, the integration into the first team, because the competition is such a high level now in the Premier League, that is very difficult. So this season for some of them is a very important season, and this competition for some of them is a very important competition as well.
Lots of people are talking about Reiss Nelson, but I just wanted to ask you about two of the other guys that came on tour with us, Joe Willock and Eddie Nketiah.
Joe Willock, Eddie Nketiah are as well involved tomorrow, in the squad, and they are the closest at the moment. Of course, we have as well Chuba Akpom, and but these are the players who are very, very close.
What makes Joe and Eddie such interesting prospects?
I would say Eddie is the quality of his movement, the quality of his the areas where he goes in, his straight determination to finish things off, and his work rate as well. Joe Willock is as well the intelligence of his game, the tactical knowledge of the game, the understanding of the game, the quality of his decision making, and the quality of his technique.
How interesting is it for you to see them on something like a pre-season tour, to see the way they interact with the rest of the group?
For me, it's the first step where they can convince me that they have the quality to be with the first team. And all the three passed the exam in a very convincing way, I must say. It's as well a good opportunity to see how they can integrate the team on the psychological front, the pressure of the other players, how they can deal with it, you know, and as well how they can be disciplined on a daily basis and how much they want to achieve it, how much they want it. That is for me very important as well.